race fans, and welcome back to Season 2 of the All-American ARCA Series. Today, we're at the virtual Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 200, where it's going to be 80 laps with 3 sets of tires, 85% fuel allotment, and no fast repairs. A new addition to the All-American ARCA Series. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James Eastbury. The action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now it is single car qualifying underway. Now there's only spots for 43 racers to make it out on tonight's grid. So he who finishes 44th will be going back to the hauler early to watch the racing shenanigans. Right now it's Randy Bonami in the 195 on top of pole, but look at that. Here comes Eric Kep in the number 35 machine, clicks off his fastest lap of the race with a 49.11. We're going to check out Steven Rex in the number 5 machine. I wonder if that's the same Rex that races in the Pro Series we've called before in the past. Going to be interesting to see if that may be the same competitor. As we're going to pull up the live timing scoring on the broadcaster's point of view. It is the one and only Steven Rex. So good to see Steve out here racing ARCA for the first time. Currently qualified 35th in the number 5 Navy-backed race car. As we're going to also check on Nick Terrell, number 81. He is currently on the bubble in 44th. His opening lap was a 49.58, so he's going to have to find at least another tenth of a second to comfortably get into the big event here today. Let's see what Terrell can do on his second lap. Is it going to be good enough to make it to the big show? It is resoundingly with a 49.05, good enough for 6th place. 2 drivers that have not put down times yet. Silvers in the number 17, as well as Dylan Brett. Now, Silvers did have one win last season in the Cornerstone Motorsports race car, but let's see if Silver's going to be able to put down a time here. He will eke in with a 49.18, good enough for 36th place. And now we've got Dylan Breton out on track in the number 1 machine. But as it sits, it looks like it's going to be Terry Freer, Jacob Feskinen, Ashton Lawson, Steve Hummelt, as well as Dylan Breton that will not make it to the main event here today. So I believe there's going to be a bit of an impromptu warm-up. The way that iRacing has their session set up, you have to do that warm-up session. But let's see how things are going to shake up here tonight, as Race Control is going to give their drivers a final talking to, get them ready. Now, last season for the Daytona 250, the season opener, it was Casey Carrington as well as Johnny Eckert who put on a great show. Eckert finished first in the race after 102 laps. We had 15 different leaders, 30 lead changes, and 12 cautions for 36 laps. It ran 2 hours, the opening of last season. But look at that on the left side of your screen. Freer, Feskinen, Lawson, Hummelt, Breton will not be making it to the main event here today. Excuse me. Still recovering from the old cough, so trying to get back in the fighting shape here in the broadcast booth. Just thankful to be broadcasting again Last week I had off due to All-American ARCA having an off season, but not in the best of shape last week. And look how much love all the drivers are getting from their fans, friends, and family across the world. We've got Jack Mundy, we've got Patty Heller, Ryan Perkins, Groundhog 83, H&L Racing Network, and well as Fire Angel, all cheering on their favorite drivers. Great seeing other friends, fellow broadcasters all out here coming in. Clay Cantrell tuning in as well, supporting their favorite driver. As again, right now is what is happening on track is Race Control is giving their drivers a final heads up, final race notes on what is expected and required from our competitors here for the All-American ARCA Series. And this very well, Indomin, is going to be the biggest ARCA race you see of the year. Spino Racing cheering on Cantrell Stinson, Benami, Victoria Harper tuning in, cheering on McGraw, and the world-famous Grace Neri is here as well, cheering on Andrew Neri in the 654 machine. Always great seeing Grace in the spectator area. Ryan Perkins here cheering on the rest of the Team Goon Squad drivers. I believe we're only going to have 2 of the Team Goon Squad sponsored athletes make it out on track. That's going to be Andrew Neri in the 654 and Mark Proctor in the 36. We're also fielding later in the season. We'll be putting Ryan Perkins out on track, Tyler Watts. I believe Kai Demarest will also be racing underneath the Goon Squad banner. Robert Hill Jr. cheering on Robert Hill and the Mountain Man Motorsports guys. A lot of different teams out here today. We've got Team Dodge, CHTW, Porsche ARCA Sport, Spirit of Daytona Racing, Spectrum Racing, Striker Motorsports, Outlaw Racing. We've got Old Geezer Motorsports, Mountain Man Motorsports, Fan Fuel Motorsports, Cornerstone Motorsports, Alpha Ravioli, Yoo-Hoo Racing, 2511 Racing, and then a few individual drivers coming out as well with a privateer effort. Ty Van Doon makes a good point. We need to see Davis Warren's new paint scheme later on. We'll do that as soon as he gets back out on track. After this little bit of a warm-up session where Race Control is going to give everybody a heads up. How you doing? My apologies. I'm trying to hit the push to mute button in time tonight. Still recovering from COVID, but it says Atlanta 250 on the tracker. Let's go ahead and get that fixed, Groundhog. Thank you for the heads up. And now we are just waiting for the session to end as we wait for Race Control Joseph Penn to advance the session. Joe will be our head guy in his respective booth, assigning penalties as they are deemed fit. And just like that, Race Control, you see on the bottom middle of your screen, hits us with the RC test, letting us know that he will be able to feed us messages throughout the night, and you will get live updates from your Race Control Joseph Penn as penalties are awarded. Jack Mundy also saying that Finley Fitzsimmons running a new livery here today. I'm excited to see what we're going to see from our competitors tonight. It's going to be good, clean racing. And if and when we do have that caution flag come out, how spectacular is the carnage going to be here? Now, at Season 1, we did have the one fast repair for our competitors, but that will no longer be the case. And we're going to get them gridded up where it's going to be Michael Vandermeed sitting on top of pole in the number 7 machine. No, my apologies. That was the warm-up session. So we're going to have Race Control advance it to the feature event, and then we're going to get this party started here at Daytona. And let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Casey Carrington and the number 9 machine. Dylan Smock will be second on tonight's grid. Patrick Hernandez starting third. Kyle Hall starting fourth. Robert Hill Jr. starting fifth. Nick Terrell starting sixth. Rhett Tucker starting seventh. John Simpson Jr. in the 65 will be starting eighth. Brandon Barkuski starting ninth. Craig Martin starting 10th. DJ Weeks Jr. starting 11th. Mark Proctor in the 36 will be starting 12th on tonight's grid. Zach Rogers starting 13th. Clay Cantrell starting 14th. Andrew Neri starting 15th. Eric Kep starting 16th. Justin Ray Phenomenon will be starting 43rd on tonight's grid. My, oh my, ladies and gentlemen, is that a healthy grid? As we're going to field 43 drivers out here today. Ty Van Dyne correcting me on the proper way to say his last name. Thank you for the heads up, Ty. And before we go green, as always, thank you to our fans, friends, and family that tune in week in and week out that supported us all season one. Coming out today to support your favorite drivers at your favorite ARCA league with your favorite broadcaster. We notice each and every week the guys that are liking and subscribing to the channel. We couldn't do it without you. And let me tell you, our drivers absolutely appreciate it. Majority of the field will go back after the broadcast tonight and watch it again if they don't already have it pulled up on a separate monitor. And they 100% see the fans that are here cheering them on. But ladies and gentlemen, the pace car is in. It's Casey Carrington, Dylan Smock, the front row. And here we go for the season opener, Daytona 200 of the All-American ARCA Series. And early on, it's Carrington out front. Hernandez has moved up one spot behind his teammate to slot in for second. In the field, already scattering 2, 3, 4 wide towards the back. No harm, no foul as of yet. As Dylan Smock's going to try and get that outside line, working with Kyle Hall accompanying him and the number 87 machine. A lot of very nice slick paint schemes coming out for the season opener. I'm going from memory here, which is always a little bit scary. I want to say it was around lap 3 we had our first caution last season at round 1. So let's see. Let's see if the guy is going to be able to maybe improve on that. A lot of the guys in the top 15 and the top 15 all ran with each other last season long. So they have a rough idea of how hard they can push, what they can get away with. And with the addition of no fast repairs this season, that's going to encourage drivers to maybe take it a little bit calmer as you ride on board with Patrick Hernandez. He is third on track and second on the inside groove following Casey Carrington. But he's still got Dylan Smock, Kyle Hall riding that outside line. Everybody's going to be a little bit patient here, maybe trying to make it to our first green flag stop. Like a little bit further back in the field, we've got Eric Kef and number 35 machine. He is up 3 spots. He's right behind Randy Bonami. That is up 10 spots in the 195 machine. So some guys having a good bit of luck. And out here absolutely blistering around the racetrack. Hands down, I think the biggest grid I've ever called for any of my broadcasts. And here's a big question. Where is Jumpin' Johnny Eckert in the number 90 machine, last season's champion, currently running 39th on track, 34th on track? But I believe he's going to be one of those drivers that maybe just be playing it safe here, not wanting to maybe risk the car early on, kind of banking on a big crash to come out sooner rather than later. You can't win it on the opening laps, but you can absolutely be sent back to the hauler early on with a completely mangled race car. And so far, the driver's doing a great job keeping it nice and smooth. Not seeing too many big moments so far. Hopefully we don't hit with the old commentator's curse, which is kind of usually the case here. But it's still Casey Carrington out front, just clicking off laps and getting those extra laps led to help pad his resume in the season opener. Now, Daytona is always a bit of a gamble for these drivers on what's going to go well and what's going to go tragically wrong for the competitors. But we've already did twice as good as we did at the season opener, making it to lap 6 without any big moments. As we'll pull up the live timing and scoring tower on the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is. Now, where it says some of your favorite drivers are out, I believe that is live timing actually struggling to keep up with 43 competitors out on track here today. As they are clicking it off, pack racing at its finest, running too wide across the circuit. Carrington, Smock, Hernandez, Hall, Tucker, your top 5, making it look easy, clicking it off about a 1/10 of the way through tonight's race. You've also got Terrell, Proctor, Simpson, Cantrell, and Martin making up the top 10. Out of 43 drivers, being able to be anywhere in the top 10 at such a stacked field as season opener, quite an accomplishment. We're going to take you on board with the Proctor and the number 36 machine. He's up 5 spots up into 6th after starting around that 11th or 12th place spot. He's currently on the inside line trying to make his way around Kyle Hall and catch up to Rhett Tucker and the number 91 machine. With that outside line, finding some speed here as you listen to Proctor baby that throttle, paddling it, trying to avoid getting too close to Tucker and the number 91 machine. Playing it safe, way too early to make any big moves, as that's why you see our field stay double file. Davis Warren in the number 70 machine. He's up 7 spots so far here today. Running side by side with Eric Kep and the number 35 machine. Now in a race that was plagued by cautions for the season opener, if we can get some green flag stops going tonight, that'll be a testament to how good these drivers really are. 43 competitors and no big moments yet. But it is always a question of if and not when. when, not if, the big one's going to come out here at Daytona. As later on the run, drivers will lose patience, try and make some big moves. And that is when disaster can strike for the field. Up front, it is still Carrington and Hernandez. Teammates run the inside line, trying to get themselves just ahead of Dylan Smock, number 60, who's leading the charge on the outside line. These guys are just clicking off laps here today. I'm curious to see what the fuel window is going to be for these drivers. Not having too many big moments. We're going to cycle back to 20th place with Michael Vandermeer in the number 7 machine. He is up 21 spots here tonight. And behind Vandermeer, you've got his teammate as well with Cornerstone. That's going to be James SoundCloud Silvers trying to catch up to the number 7 and see if he can help work with his teammate to try and grab some more spots. But, man, with how stacked this field is, it's going to be tough to make any big moves here tonight. We're only 13 laps in. But once we get that green flag cycle started, it is going to be absolute anarchy diving down pit road. Two rows wide and about 20 rows deep here in Daytona. Everyone doing a good job staying together, staying linked up. Going to be interesting to see which drivers are going for the strategy to try and just avoid the mayhem. I think once we get to about 15 laps left to go in today's main event, things are going to get quite exciting. But very impressed with Carrington and Hernandez, the two teammates, just clicking off laps here, not having any issues. Still fending off Smock on the outside line. It's still Carrington, Hernandez, Smock, Tucker, Hall, our top 5. These ARCA cards do not lend well to any sort of bump drafting, so you have to be very careful not to accidentally hook the competitor in front of them. The front fenders almost kind of slant underneath the back fenders on these cars. So if you bump draft just a hair harder than you intended to, it will pick up the rear end of the car in front of you and send them careening into traffic. We're going to try and get our pit lane reporter to respond back on what the fuel window is going to be looking like for these competitors. Deanna Piano's here cheering on Davis. Clay Cantrell, the number 8 machine, also making moves as he's side by side with Nick Terrell. Cantrell is up 6 spots so far, worked his way up into 8th fairly comfortably. And let's see other notable movers here tonight. I think the biggest move we've seen so far is going to be from Vandermeer, the number 7. Started off 41st, is now running 20th on track, up 21 spots. That is absolutely massive, and just like that, you ask and the gods answer. Race Control coming in clutch, saying the fuel window tonight, about 25 to 35 laps. In about 6 laps, you'll see the window open up for these drivers. Always having the world famous Deanna join us here, cheering on her favorite drivers. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Deanna. So this is going to be very interesting. Who's going to be the first drivers to dive down pit lane? As it looks like Kyle Hall jumps to the inside line, leaving Dylan Smock out by his lonesome. Maybe getting geared up for a green flag stop. We definitely did not have the luxury of green flag stops last season for the opener. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out tonight. We had a request to get closer eyes on Davis Warren, the number 70 machine. A very unique paint scheme. By lap 20 in season 1, there were 3 cautions, so the guy's doing a much better job this go around. So everyone's got to be happy at the quality of the show these guys are putting on here today. Much cleaner, much more professional second season of All-American ARCA. As, I believe Davis Warren has a big blink. Having really bad internet issues here as he's side by side with Nary in the 654 machine and just ahead of Finley Fitzsimmons. But hopefully Warren can get that corrected. Because if it continues to be a problem, Race Control will ask him to get out of the racing line and allow the competitors to make their way by. Up front, it's still Smock and Carrington side by side. It looks like Smock has found a friend with Nick Terrell in the number 81 Doritos back race car. Oh, they hint at going 3 wide. As Dylan Smock will take over the race lead comfortably from Carrington, dropping down the inside groove. Nick Terrell takes over 3rd, and he's up 3 spots so far. Now, I'm wondering more so if that's less of a track position move and more so of a getting in a pit stop position here, trying to get ready for this green flag stop that's going to open up in about 2 laps for these competitors. Because Carrington and Smock have been pushing a whole lot of air, leading their 2 respective rows. They're going to burn more gas than the guys behind them. And John Simpson's going to get in the mix. In the number 65 machine on the outside line, he's up 6 spots so far here today. As the field starting to shuffle around, I think that's a sign of anticipation for the green flag stop. Now, in theory, this should be a one-stop race here today if they can time their fuel right, with the estimated pit window being about 25 to 35 laps on a tank of gas. As everybody's still charging hard. Still Simpson and Smock battling for the lead here. You also got Craig Martin, who's entered the chat, our current fastest Canadian out on track in the number 22. But who is going to be the first driver that decides to dive down pit lane? Dylan Smock's probably in the most advantageous position, hovering that inside line, as well as Casey Carrington. As we've got a few drivers swerving around back there. And a good eye, Alex Penn, the current hard charger on track. The road racing phenomenon is up 28 spots here, starting last on the grid, but has worked his way up into 15th as he battles side by side with Andrew Neri and Mark Proctor, two teammates. Penn, the Skip Barber racer, the karting extraordinaire, coming out strong tonight, and the youngest brother of race control, Joseph Penn, showing he's got what it takes to do the left turns just as well as he can make the right turns. We're on lap 27, so we are resoundingly in the fuel window here today. But if I was a betting man, and boy am I think these guys are going to run those gas tanks completely dry. To try and limit the time in pit road if at all possible. Very cool to see Simpson and Smock both leading their respective rows. Excuse me, Simpson and Martin, Craig Martin. Simpson's up 7 spots, Martin's up 8. Proving that you can make some pretty big advances despite the heavy traffic here at Daytona. Finley Fitzsimmons, another driver that's made big strides, up 21 spots here today. And look at this, Randy Bonami coming strong in the 195 machine on the outside line, accompanied by Davis Warren. Bonami's up 20 spots, Warren is up 17 spots, getting some big momentum on the outside line. And now Randy Bonami will take over the race lead from Craig Martin. As here we go, we see sparks. Did the field get through clean? We did not see a wreck happen, but we got dangerously close to our first caution as somebody hit the outside wall in turn 2. Not quite sure who that was. I believe it could have been Carrington, who's down 11 spots. It's tough to tell. Neri has dropped down 20 spots. Barkuski is down 25 spots. Tough to tell, tough to tell. But we've made it 31 laps under green. Davis Warren will be your race leader, charging along side by side with Randy Benami. You've also got Finley Fitzsimmons charging hard on the outside line, up 25 spots. Davis Warren now going to take a peek at the lead. He's up 20 spots. And we did get confirmation Nary the 654 did come down pit lane. He must have been one of the drivers involved with that small incident that was not big enough to warrant a caution. And Davis Warren charging down Daytona. Seemingly out of nowhere, as well as Randy Benami. Two drivers that put in their practice laps during the offseason in preparation for coming out here today. And it looks like Warren's going to try and make that number 70 about 3 rows wide, staying in front of Benami in the bright purple 195 machine, while also going back up track, maybe throwing a block on Fitzsimmons. But Warren will get another lap led here at Daytona, 33 laps in. So we're expecting these drivers to have to come down pit lane relatively soon. Davis Warren making it look easy out front, not having any big problems or issues here. But once we get this green flag pit stop started, it's going to be all sorts of excitement. As we had a few races last season that had their fair share of green flag stops, but not a ton. Number 16 to 65, first car is in, is the report we're getting from the pit lane. That's going to be Dylan Smock and John Simpson Jr. But Warren still having bad internet problems. He's running up front. He'll get the lap led, but that's going to be something Race Control is definitely taking a peek at and keeping everyone else apprised of the situation. The last thing you want is for that car to go missing and then reappear inside one of your competitors. As Benami gets a little bit too far on the apron there, upsets the 195 in the bright purple, but no harm, no foul. As lap traffic is about to come into play for our race leaders, and there is not a lot of real estate here, despite it being a super wide racetrack. You're on board, Randy Benami, your race leader. He's gonna be side by side with Davis Warren, and ahead of them, I believe that's gonna be the 60 and the 65 of Dylan Smock and John Simpson. And this is where things can get very dangerous for all parties involved. But somebody asked when the green flag stop would be. From what we heard from some of the guys on pit lane, we're expecting anywhere between lap 25 to any lap now. The estimated fuel window is lap 25 to 35, so the guys are able to stretch it a little bit further than the original calculation showed. So I'd be expecting, as we've seen 2 drivers come in already for their green flag stop, that fairly soon the rest of the field will follow suit, and the lap 6 or the number 16 and 65 are going to be going another lap down here. And they're also on the inside line, which is going to make it extremely difficult for your race leaders to dive down onto pit road if they so desire. So they're going to have to stay out another lap if they did plan on coming in this time by. That'll be your race leaders, Benami and Martin, making their way around lap traffic on the outside line. As we've got a few drivers, I believe, making their way down pit lane. And look at that, the race leaders are going to dive down as well. Benami, Martin, Fitzsimmons, Scroggins, Harrington, Stinson, all coming down pit lane. Alex Penn's going to stay out and be your new race leader, as well as Davis Ward in tow, Lane Doyle, Kyle Hall, Andrew McGraw, your new top 5 here at Daytona. And let's see who's been practicing 200-mile-an-hour pit entries and who's going to be able to get through without any big issues. Alex Penn's going to send it down pit lane. Rhett Tucker and Steven Rex opt to stay out another lap. Uh-oh, Penn almost got ran over there, as I believe that was going to be Warren and Hall that blew the doors off the number 30. I'm not sure if they may have a speeding penalty or what may have happened there. But this is where it's going to get interesting, as you have about 5 drivers or a couple drivers, I should say, that stayed out. I believe it's Rhett Tucker, Stephen Rex, Christopher Heller, and possibly Brandon Barkuski all staying out. Where you're going to have a bunch of drivers on differing pit strategies, as now Tucker is going to come down to pit lane. Let's see if Rex does as well. He does come in for his cycle, as well as Christopher Heller, Brandon Barkuski, the 2 teammates with 2511 Racing. As you're on board with Randy Benami in the 195 machine. Alex Penn may have had a penalty, as he has to come back down pit road in the number 30 machine. I believe that's going to put Benami as your race leader, with Fitzsimmons in second once everything gets updated here. As they just get around, I believe that was Steven Rex, and they're going to catch Rhett Tucker, who shows as your race leader here, coming out of pit lane ahead of Benami and Fitzsimmons. The number 91, the 5, the 11, and the 25, all with the longest stint of the race, making it 40 laps, so they should be able to make it comfortably on a one-stop strategy, barring any green-white checker shenanigans. We've got Tyler Mcrae joining in here tonight. I assume he's here cheering on his good friend and teammate for his other racing series, Steven Rex. Rhett Tucker still your race leader, but he's about to get the doors blown off in the number 91 machine. As the rest of the field has so much momentum, they're going to swallow him up. And Randy Benami will take over the race lead, as he's still side by side with Davis Warren. We got Finley Fitzsimmons, Kyle Hall, Casey Carrington, Hernandez, Tucker, Smock, all in the lead pack here. past the halfway mark of tonight's main event. So this is going to be intriguing to see how this plays out, as again, we've had several drivers stretch it out 40 laps on fuel. Ron White, Brandon Barkuski, Tyler Evans, Ryan Dipple, all coming on the lap 40 mark. Christopher Heller, Steven Rex. So if those drivers can do that once more, they're in a good position to possibly bring home a win just on strategy here today at Daytona. As you're on board with Benami in the 195 machine. I believe this is his debut for the All-American ARCA Series, and he's having a very strong showing. Very impressed with the drivers we're seeing here today. We made it way past the halfway mark. Now, last season for the season opener, again, we touched on it. The race control confirmed it. By lap 20, we had 3 cautions in last season's opener. But the guys showing what it takes to run with the big dogs here at the All-American ARCA Series. A 43-car grid. And that's after, I believe, 4 or possibly 5 drivers did not make the qualifying cut, only taking the fastest 43 here today, and for the remainder of the season as well. And Benami's got company as Kyle Hall is going to charge along the outside line. He's got help from Casey Carrington, the number 9 machine, as well as Hernandez in the 19. About 12 drivers in the lead pack. Then you have to go back to 13th with Clay Cantrell. He's about 5 seconds back from the lead pack. And he's accompanied by Elliot Henderson, who's running 14th, Justin Ray in 15th, Tate Lytle, Dave Westergreen, DJ Weeks Jr., all running in this second pack, single file. Now, if they stay in single file formation, they should be able to catch the race leaders in the lead pack towards the tail end of this race. But they may be comfortable riding around 5 seconds back, still betting on a caution later on in the race. Because up front, they're side by side about 6 rows deep. Is that an NWO paint scheme? Sure looks like it. Yeah, that's Derek Cook, currently running 33rd on track. Running the old school throwback paint scheme here today. Now Carrington will get another lap led, getting pushed to the front with Patrick Hernandez. Kyle Hall has dropped to the inside line, and now Carrington will do the same. Is that going to allow Hernandez to get a run on the outside line, or if he's going to have to settle there for now? Oh, they're going to go 3 wide up front. It's teammates Hernandez and Carrington splitting Kyle Hall in the number 87 machine. This is a dangerous place to be at this point in the race. Any miscalculation is going to spell disaster for the lead pack here. They think twice, dropping back into double file. But that'll get the old heart rate up for our competitors. Still charging hard. I had a couple of requests to try and get some tighter camera angles on some of the competitors. I'll be honest, that's about as good as we can get at 200 miles an hour, as we're trying our best to focus on Warren's very unique paint scheme in the number 70 machine as we take a onboard flight in the All-American chopper cam. And a great shot as well, showing how wiggly these guys are getting in some of the lines. Now, pretty much everyone in this pack came in around lap 38. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody's going to have to come in once more, if they're going to be able to stretch it out to the end, or if we're going to see that caution come out late in the run, if and when the big one finally happens here at Daytona, to throw a monkey wrench in everyone's plans. Carrington still out front, but here comes Fitzsimmons trying to make a move with the support of Kyle Hall and Patrick Hernandez on the outside line, trying to carry as much speed as they possibly can. About 26 laps left to go for our competitors here for the season opener. Now I've got to say, I wonder if anyone here was betting on long green flag runs after last season's opener, as well as kind of the duration of the season was a bit of a bloodbath for some of these guys. Maybe the lack of fast repairs has motivated people to race a little bit smarter. And right as we say that, naturally we go 3 wide, where it's going to be Benami on the inside line, Patrick Hernandez in the middle. And I believe that's the 85 of Alex Harrington on the high side. Oh, they're bumping. Trying to get back into double file format. There they go. I don't think anybody wanted to be doing that at this point in the race. 26 laps left to go. Carrington still out front. Fitzsimmons charging hard on the outside line. When are we going to start seeing our drivers get a little bit more aggressive? Or is everyone going to play it safe here at the season opener, score some strong points at the first round, and leave with a shiny car? I have a sneaking suspicion with about 10 laps left to go, we're going to see drivers lick the stamp and send it. Trying to pick up that prestigious win at the All-American ARCA Series. Harrington, the number 85 machine, the blue and white car on the left side of your screen, running the high side of the track here, pushing Fitzsimmons as hard as he comfortably can to try and project themselves around Carrington, the number 9 machine. Carrington's probably got the most laps led here so far. Staying glued to that inside line. An update from our pit wall. Fastest pit crew is Zach Rogers with a 13.0. Now, I can't imagine that was a 4-tire stop. That has got to be a 2-tire and fuel, or I don't know what that would be, because the fastest I've seen is mid to low 14s. We'll have to get confirmation on that one. Now with 23 laps left to go, who's thinking about fuel here? As again, there's only about a handful of drivers that made it to lap 40 for that fuel stop. I believe the top 2 drivers in the running order is going to be Rhett Tucker. He's in the 13th place. And Steven Rex, who is in 15th. Both those drivers came in around the lap 40 mark for their stop. And I believe Rex only took fuel and maybe 2 tires as well on that stop. He was in his box for 8.5 seconds. But uh-oh, here comes lap traffic once more, as I believe that's Nick Terrell at the tail end of that Congo line in front of your race leaders, Casey Carrington and Randy Benami. Now we've seen our fair share of 3-wide action for the race lead so far, but when you have these wild closing speeds of excess of 20 miles an hour, it's going to get really exciting very quickly going into turn 1. As we watch, Carrington's going to be the first driver. Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here at Daytona. The big one is out. Absolute carnage as everyone's going to come to a creeping stop. Carrington still getting destroyed. That is going to be it for half the field. We've lost so many drivers. Oh my goodness. Absolute carnage for the drivers here today. We're going to watch on board. Oh. Daytona is an absolute parking lot, and the ARCA brakes are in full effect. Drivers not realizing what's going on ahead of them and absolutely dogpiling the other racers. That is the crash of the week right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check out and see what happened to Devin Scroggins as well. Let's take a little bit wider angle You can see ahead of Scroggins, the race leaders are wadding it up and just nowhere to go. Well, there's someplace to go if you're on the brakes a little bit more. And then look at poor Carrington just getting launched. We're going to take one more look at that from Carrington's point of view because that was violent. Carrington just gets nudged. Nowhere to go, gets spun. The field, some of the field starts to check up. Other drivers just in full effect. ARCA braking in full display. And then Carrington's going to get punched by absolutely everyone as they continue to just absolutely destroy some machinery here at Daytona. That's going to put, I believe, Kyle Hall as your race leader. No, they're still trying to get it sorted. Patrick Hernandez shows as the race leader. Well, actually, Alex Harrington shows as the race leader somehow, but I don't believe that's accurate, as I think he took a fast repair or a quick tow back to pit lane. And just like that, we've lost a lot of good men. As requested, a close-up of Davis Warren's very unique paint scheme. Not sure if he's going for, I'm not sure what he's going for. Everything I can speculate on is not appropriate, so we're just going to let that one be. So most of the field's going to come down pit lane here for 4 fresh Goodyears and a tank of gas for a final 19-lap shootout. I have lost track of how many drivers that have been absolutely obliterated in that one. And we're going to get a poll up for our spectators. Let us know what you think. Is Flex Seal going to be enough to try and get those race cars hammered back into shape? As I believe Hernandez, Simpson, Cantrell, Stinson, Bonami, Henderson, Cook, Harrington, Fitzsimmons, Rex, Scroggins, Carrington, White, Thiel, I believe are all involved with that one. Heller, McGronigle, Vandermeet, I believe involved as well. Now, unfortunately, no fast repairs. So if you wad up your machinery, that is it for the night. $18 laps left to go for the final shootout. I think there's still plenty of time to wad up some machinery. As we just got confirmation from some of our spectators, that is actually one of the spectators' faces on the side of Davis Warren. So no more speculating. Now we know the mystery. And I've got to say, probably one of the most unique paint schemes we've had so far. Davis Warren's got to be happy running third, especially with his friend's face plastered all over the number 70. We're going to form them up double file. As we get ready to go green, I've got our foster dog trying to chew on the microphone here. Got big help up here in the Team Goon Squad broadcasting booth. Pace car is in. Away we go for possibly the final time. It's Craig Martin, Lane Doyle on the front row. Davis Warren, Alex Penn have gained big spots so far. As I believe Tate Lytle also trying to find a new groove to stick with. Hopping up on the outside groove. Now it looks to be about 4 drivers in the top 5 that had not come in on lap 61 with the rest of the field. It'll be interesting to see how that plays into a factor, if they can make it on fuel or if they were able to save enough under caution. And are we going to go 3 wide early on? 16 laps left to go. We are. It's going to be Craig Martin stuck in the middle. As Lane Doyle looks to the outside line, Kyle Hall is behind Davis Warren on the inside groove. And this looks almost identical to what brought out the very first caution of Season 1 opener, where we were 3 wide, 3 laps in. But we made it a whole lot more laps here today for Season 2. Craig Martin hold on to it in the middle groove. He's got a whole lot of company. Just one mistake here is going to take out a fresh batch of drivers. We were expecting the shenanigans to start with about 10 to go, but the driver said 15 to go is close enough. Let's take it 3 wide. Let's do it for several laps. Looks like we were hinting at going back 2 wide. But I think it's Lane Doyle on the outside line. Nowhere to hop in here. Lap traffic sees the Thunderdome coming behind and says, you know what? The apron looks good with me. I believe that may have been Ron White trying to hop out of the way. And now we're back side-by-side formation. It's Craig Martin, Tate Lytle up front. You've also got Davis Warren, Dylan Smock, Kyle Hall, Lane Doyle all in the mix here fighting for that top 5 spot. Nick Terrell gets pushed to the outside line in the number 81 Doritos race car. And that, my friends, is what 200 miles an hour here in tight pack racing looks like at Daytona. These guys are white-knuckling all the way around. Not a lot of time to breathe and take any mental moments to collect yourself. It is white-knuckle all the way around. Any single lapse of judgment can quickly ruin your night as well as half the field's. As Tate Lytle is going to take over the race lead. He's accompanied by Davis Warren. Craig Martin still trying to make something happen on that middle groove. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. The more those laps click off, the more gutsy our drivers are going to be. Who's looking for that first win and who's going to try and play it safe and try and get some much-needed championship points? Up front, it's still Lytle and Martin putting on a show, but you've got guys like Warren and Doyle that want to get in the mix and make a jab at it late on in the race. It's going to be 10 laps left to go once Lytle crosses the line. But Martin is doing everything in his power in that middle groove to stay with him as they're side by side once more, going into turns 3 and 4. That's somebody grinding the wall back there right behind Nick Terrell. I'm not sure if that was Rhett Tucker or possibly Tyler Evans. I think it might have been Rex in the number 5 machine, but his car doesn't look like it has any sort of additions to the right side. Devin Scroggins going a lap down in the Yoo-hoo-backed race car. He's going to get squeezed to the outside line, but not having any big moments there. 10 laps left to go here at Daytona. If you're ever expecting to see some drivers absolutely send it, now is the time. As it looks like Warren maybe gave a shot to the number 56 of Tate Lytle. Got him a little bit unsettled, backed up just enough to allow Lytle to get back under control of the race car. These ARCA Menards machines do not like being pushed on that rear bumper. They get all sorts of unsettled. Craig Martin slides to the inside line ahead of Doyle and Lytle. Oh! Nick Terrell gets hit. Here we go again. Steven Rex heavily involved. Nick Terrell involved. Terrell gets pushed by the number 5 machine. And just like that, heartbreak again for several drivers with nowhere to go. Let's see that angle again from Steven Rex's point of view. Rex, a newcomer. Oh, that was Rex that got into the back of Terrell. And this is going to be a hard hit for the number 5 machine. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much front bumper action. And that will bring out our second caution of the night. It's still going to be Lane Doyle, Tate Lytle, Alex Penn, Kyle Hall, Jay Stinson, your top 5 with 8 laps left to go. Should be about 5 laps left to go on the restart. Show it again a few times back is the request. Yes, absolutely we can. Well, I say we can. Let's make sure I can. So we're going to watch that from Rex's point of view. We're going to back it up just a little bit. And we're watching... There we go. We'll do one better. Let's get that camera angle. And just like that, heartbreak for several drivers. And that is the bad thing about pack racing. If it goes bad quickly for a whole lot of drivers. So we're going to get them re-racked possibly for the final time. We had a good request to see if we can do an onboard with, I believe, Alex Penn's point of view. Let's see if we have time. That's a whole lot of scrolling through the live timing and scoring tower. So we're going to take an onboard with Alex Penn, road racing extraordinaire. Oh! Alex Penn seeing Jesus on that one. Narrowly avoiding getting collected. We're going to get them formed back up. It's going to be Doyle and Lytle, the front row here. It'll be 5 laps left to go as they cross the line. Pace car is in. And the green flag will fly, possibly the final time. It's Doyle and Lytle in your front row. Let's see if we can make it to the white flag before tragedy strikes once more. It's still Lytle holding on to it, but here comes Kyle Hall, number 87 machine, getting that outside line working. 5 laps left to go. It looks like a little bit 3 wide action happening around 9th place, right behind Proctor. Up front, Lytle's going to try and make that machine 3 rows wide to slow down both lanes at once. Trying to prevent Hall from getting some good outside lines going. Four laps left to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's still Lytle and Hall up front. Doyle, Tucker, Penn, Rogers, Proctor, Stinson, Ray, Silvers all inside the top 10. Proctor goes 3 wide. Oh, holds on to it. He's next to Zach Rogers and I believe Stinson. And just like that, here comes the carnage. And another good group of racers getting destroyed. We're going to back that camera angle up just ever so slightly. Proctor bumps the number 18 machine The 30 might have gotten a little bit loose too, and then just calamity. You ever crash so hard your car disappears for a little while? That's what can happen here at the All-American ARCA Bloodbath at Daytona. As I believe that will be our third caution of the night. But again, you got to think about the season opener last year. For the season opener, we had 3 cautions in the first 20 laps. So as bad as this looks, this is going miles better than the season opener last year did. And we're going to keep whittling away that lead pack as it's going to be Lytle and Hall survive. Doyle, Silvers, Eckert, Vandermeed, Hill, Gentry, Warren, Henderson, our top 10 here. Silvers and Eckert are going to come down pit road. Maybe trying something a little bit different here at the tail end. But Lytle and Hall, they came in at lap 61. They can comfortably make it to the end here. No worries, and I believe this is going to be green-white checker conditions. And there are 3 green-white checker attempts here today. So this will be the first of overtime conditions. As Lucky Dogs will get their wave around, getting back on the lead lap for one final attempt at Eternal Glory. I believe it's still going to be about 15 drivers on the lead lap here. Let's get ready to re-rack them. It'll be Tate Lytle, Kyle Hall in your front row for the first green-white checker attempt. Let's get them gridded back up and see what's going to happen. Pace car is in. Let's see what Lytle and Hall can do on the front row. And no, I think the caution was extended. Well, this is odd. And yes, the pace car is going to go back out. Not quite sure what happened there. And I'm not sure if that's going to account for a green-white checker attempt or not. So we're going to take one more shot at it. And we are going to get under green flag conditions this time by, and they're already trying to wreck, and just like that, they do so. Classic. I think Christopher Heller, Eric Keff may have been involved. We'll take a quick look. What a parking lot. Take another look from Eric Keff's point of view. It looks like the 26 of Shane Gentry didn't get the launch he wanted, and the number 35 of Keff got into the back out of him. So this may put us on the final green-white checker attempt. I believe it will. So that is going to allow Tate Lytle to get through nice and clean. Lane Doyle is going to come down pit road for the last time. So now it's going to be Lytle, Hall, Benami, Weeks, Gentry, Evans, Cantrell, Penn, Proctor, and Henderson making up our top 10. For what I believe is the final green-white checker attempt of the night. In a race that started off strong, rapidly got bad for a whole lot of drivers. There was somebody asking about Warren in the number 70 machine, where he's at. He is currently 11th on track. Now, he did come in on lap 81 for a pretty lengthy pit stop, maybe trying to get some repairs done on that bodywork to go back out there and do battle for the end of the race. Now I believe this is our final green-white checker attempt, so if the caution comes out before the white flag flies, we will end the race under yellow conditions. We got confirmation this is green-white checker attempt 2 out of 3. So let's see what Kyle Hall, Tate Lytle can do on the front row once more, getting their start practices in here at the tail end of the race. These guys have got to be tired. They've been on track for about an hour and 20 minutes now, plus the qualifying, plus the practice. Pace car is in. Here we go. Green-white checker attempt 2 out of 3. Tate Lytle gets a great launch. Here comes DJ Weeks Jr. for the first time tonight. Up front in podium contention and the number 97 machine as he's side by side with Kyle Hall. But what happened to the rest of the field? As, uh-oh, here we go again. Oh, somebody parked it. I believe that might have been Penn, the number 30 machine. Oh, look at that. That is all sorts of aggression. It'd be quicker to name who was not involved in an incident tonight. And that's going to be Tate Lytle, Kyle Hall, DJ Weeks Jr., Clay Cantrell, Randy Benami, your top 5. Proctor has come out of nowhere. He's in 6th. Tyler the Weapon Evans, he's up into 7th, up 11 spots. Davis Warren back to 8th. Lane Doyle 9th, and Rhett Tucker 10th. So this, ladies and gentlemen, will be the final green-white checker attempt, as we have the caution out for the 5th time this evening. We've got another poll set up for our viewers here today. Let us know what you think. Are we going to have enough time left to wad it up once more at Daytona? Or are they going to make it through the final green-white checker attempt nice and easy as our flagman putting in overtime? And so far the fans are saying, oh yes, we will wad it up once more. We have not sacrificed enough body work to the racing gods. Dylan Smock cheering on the number 87, Kyle Hall, after working with Hall throughout the duration of the race before Smock was also involved in a race-ending crash. But there's lots of people involved in a race-ending crash here tonight at the Daytona 200. So we're all in good company. As we're going to get them formed up for the final restart of the night. We're going to see who can survive the green-white checker attempt and then bring in our top three for post-race interviews. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for tuning in tonight for the season opener. We couldn't do it without you. I absolutely appreciate you. The racers appreciate you. And always a great time having you here on a Friday night watching some great racing with some big grids and even bigger crashes. As now it's going to be, once again, Lytle and Hall in the front row. DJ Weeks Jr., Clay Cantrell, your second row. Randy Benami, Mark Proctor, your third row. Let's see how far they can go before another crash may happen, or if they're going to be able to click off the final laps on this green-white checker attempt and bring it home under green. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. Pace car will be making its way in this time by not so smoothly. He just kind of hucks it in there. And the green flag will fly for the final time here at Daytona. Tate Lytle up front, number 56 machine, but Kyle Hall wants to get a piece of it as well early on. As the field is already wadding it up, we're going to end it under caution. Well, that was never going to happen. Shane Gentry just gets absolutely hooked. Jay Stinson goes for a wild ride as well. Randy Benami involved. Finley Fitzsimmons involved. Thiel, Dipple, Rex, Simpson. Well, for those that voted that yes, they were going to wad it up, you were correct, my friends. So I believe we're going to end under caution. We are with Tate Lytle, Kyle Hall, and DJ Weeks Jr. coming out of nowhere. Where it's going to be Clay Cantrell finishing fourth, Proctor finishing fifth, Hill finishing sixth, Doyle seventh, Evans eighth, Tucker 9th, and I believe Warren 10th. Man, oh man, what a night for these drivers. As we're going to look at that one once more as we get our drivers up here into the waiting room. Just trying to put the nose where there's no room, I'm afraid. Gentry in the number 26 gets violently hooked in the number 85. I believe that's going to be Harrington. And they're also crashing ahead of him as well. Nick Terrell was involved in an incident. He's facing the entire wrong direction. Let's back this up and see what happens. There's multiple crashes going on. The 05 got into Terrell. Really, there's just all sorts of carnage out here. What a night, but it's going to be Tate Lytle bringing home the win in the number 56 machine. Kyle Hall second, DJ Weeks Jr. third. What a night for these competitors. And Tate Lytle's going to bring it down to the start-finish line to burn it down in style. Completely yeeting it through the grass. And an absolute great performance out on track here today. Lytle paid for the tires, and he's going to use all the tires. But up first, we're going to grab DJ Weeks Jr., bringing it home in third, the number 97 machine. DJ, I mean, that was a wild night. Did you expect to be here with a relatively clean race car at the end of it, or what was your expectations?
Honestly, we were working with Tate and Mountain Man Motorsport. We were just riding the back the whole race and just, mind our business. And we just started working our way into the front, and then they just kept wrecking. I'll take third all day here.
Yeah, I mean, so last season opener, we had 3 cautions by lap 20. We started to catch up there towards the end. Did this race go overall cleaner than you expected, rougher, or what was the general expectations?
I mean, it reminded me of Talladega last year, how it just kept going green and green. But it's like always, once you get that first yellow, everybody stacks on top of each other again. And inside 20 laps ago, you just never know what's going to happen. So luckily I came out on their end. I spun on the backstretch, avoiding a wreck, and I think that saved me there.
Well, yeah, cautions always breed cautions, but great job putting number 97 on the podium for the season opener. DJ, before we let you sign off and go celebrate with the friends, who would you like to give a shout-out to that's supporting you and the team this season?
Oh, yeah, always. My teammates at Outlaw Racing, Johnny, D. West. I don't know who our fourth guy is. I don't think he was here tonight. We work well with Mountain Man Motorsports. They're close friends, and hey, I'm ahead of Jeckert in the points. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, a lot of people can be leaving happy. DJ, good job again, man, and welcome to the podium room, and hope to see the good luck continue for the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, James.
That was DJ Weeks finishing third. Now we've got Kyle Hall in the number 87 machine. Kyle, you ran strong up front all night long, and you got to be pretty happy with a clean race car in second here today.
James, yeah, we had a good, strong qualifying run. Was able to run in the lead pack all afternoon, all evening, and just couldn't quite beat Tate there at the end. But definitely a good points day to start off the season for sure.
Now, Kyle, do you think your strong qualifying is one of the reasons why you're able to stay out of all the carnage today?
No doubt about it. The plan was with my team, Rhett and Andrew, the 94, we were going to ride in the back just like Outlaw Racing did. So to avoid the melees. Of course, we went 60 laps green, no wrecks. Certainly unexpected for a 43 car field like we had. And but yeah, I was able to that first green flag pit stop. I was able to get off pit road pretty nice, and was able to hang into a 4-car pack and just stay in that top 5 or 7 all evening, and was able to get up the Powder Coat Plus Dodge Charger up into top 5, 6, 7th place, top 5, and then yeah, those last caution sequences we were able to stay in the top 3 or so. But a little disappointed we didn't get the win at our home track here in Daytona Beach, but very pleased with the 2nd place, my friend, for sure. The second at Talladega last season too, so maybe the next time we get one more.
Well, consistency wins championships, and we know you guys are known for it. Well done as always, Kyle. Before I let you sign off and go knock out all the fun admin stuff as well as celebrating with the rest of the guys, who would you like to give a shout out to, friends, family, sponsors that's helping support you this season?
Yeah, definitely Powder Coat Plus in Daytona Beach. Spirit of Daytona Racing, my other teammates, we were working really well together there. Ryan Dipple and Rhett in the 91, Andrew in the 94, and my lovely girlfriend Ashley for letting me do this every Friday night, and of course Team Goon Squad's YouTube channel that does probably one of the top-notch iRacing broadcasters on the server. So thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Always a pleasure, Kyle. Congrats again, man, and enjoy it.
Thank you, sir.
And up next, the man of the hour, Tate Lytle, bringing it home in the top spot. Tate, you've got to be ecstatic. I believe this is your debut with the All-American ARCA Series. Is that correct?
Yeah, first race. I mean, that's not necessarily how you want to win them, but, you know, it's not my fault they kept wrecking, and we were in the right spot at the right time, and we're able to get the win. So I'll take P1. I mean, I know it's early, but great points night. Led a couple laps, won the race. Should be the points leader, so that's huge going into the tracks that, you know, anything else can't happen. I mean, Daytona is crazy, and I ran 30th the whole race and took fuel only on that pit stop, like 20 to go, got up to top 5, and was able to kind of control the race once the green-white checkers started happening.
Yeah, gained 22 positions tonight, number 56 machine. Did you just not have the qualifying that you wanted, or was there a bit of strategy going into that?
Oh, no, I mean, qualifying at Daytona is a crapshoot for me, at least. I was coming out of 4. I wasn't sure if my lap was going to put me on the bubble or if my lap was going to put me on pole or where, and that kind of put me right in the middle, which was fine. Rode around 23rd to like 30th there for a while and caught up back to the front pack. A couple close calls on wrecks, but was able to come out on top somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Tate. I mean, you started mid-pack, and that seemed to be the most dangerous spot. How are you able to avoid some of those crashes? Because boy, did we have some big ones.
Yeah, I mean, the first big wreck was pretty close call. Had a, I mean, I pretty much stopped behind the 93 there, but I mean, somehow we missed it. Still got a little damage from it on the back end. Got hit. It wasn't a whole lot, so it didn't affect the race at all. But got hit there. Somehow didn't spin it out. But that was crazy. Just crazy to be able to be up at the front. And for me, as a guy who hates restrictor plate racing, I'll take that and run.
Well, it seems like it worked out well for you. A good entry into the season. Tate, before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to? Friends, family, sponsors. The floor is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, the admins. Robert Hill Jr. give me the chance in this league. Wasn't really planning on running on Friday nights, but here we are. The 97 for pushing me there on that last restart. He wasn't on the car tonight, but Brent Wentz, Days Gone By. Go check out his Twitter and Instagram. Hopefully I'll gotta have a car made up for him next week, and we can try and put him in victory lane again.
Well, Tate, welcome to the dysfunctional family here at All-American ARCA. Congratulations on the first win, and hope to see your success continue.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You as well. And that, my friends, is going to do it for this season opener of All-American ARCA. We had great racing, we had big crashes, and we had a lot of fun. but it was newcomer Tate Lytle putting on the top spot here today. As always, on behalf of the All-American ARCA Series, Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East. Thanking you so much for tuning in for the season opener. We'll see you as the rest of the season progresses. Have a great night, everyone.